gateway as the next hop to deliver emails to internet using the email gateway. Similarly, all the emails from internet should come to your email gateway, and then they should go to your Exchange server or the whatever mail server you're using. Most common these days is Exchange server. So I think it's okay if you say Exchange server. Okay, any email gateway. And actually the term these days used is called security email gateway. It should have these capabilities. Malware scanning, antivirus, spyware, adware protection should be there. It should also be able to check the recipient validation using LDAP. For example, somebody tried to send an email to abc@domain.com and there's no user at abc@domain.com, so it should not accept that email. It's a very basic thing. It's very easily implementable if the email gateway supports integration with Active Directory or LDAP. Then it shall also have Splunk. It should also have like, sorry, not Splunk, spam detection, bulk messages, marketing email detection should be there. It should also have domain or IP reputation based checks at handshake level. And even from the IPs which are bad IPs, it should not even accept the connection, or it should not accept the email from them. Any email gateway should also have spoof detection. In our previous session, we have talked about the spoofing detection. If you look at the top corner, you will see the link of that video. It's in the email security attacks. Okay, then any email gateway should also have content filtering by size, by phrases, by email addresses, by domains, or by headers. By headers mean any specific header. For example, you're looking for some spam mails that have certain headers there, so you can look for those headers also. Or based on some headers, you can do some actions. Then there should also be a feature of suspicious URL detection in the email body. Then there should also be a feature for attachments check for executables and by true file type.
Welcome to Global Information Security Society for Professionals of Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we have our third session on email security simplified. This is a lesson 3 and also the last lesson. My name is Shahzad Subhani. Let's go to the next the agenda. First, we have some assumptions. I will explain that. Then we will talk about email security general best practices. Then we'll talk about on-premises security email gateways. Then we'll talk about cloud-based email security gateways or cloud-based email security providers. Microsoft Office 365 versus Google G Suite. Gartner email security guide key findings. Gartner email security guide key recommendations. The Forrester wave, I'll show you the quadrant. Because as of now, there is no quadrant available by Gartner. So I'll show you what is the latest available by Forrester. What are the email security advanced best practices and some resources for future use. Now my assumptions are that you have a basic knowledge about SMTP protocol, that you have a basic knowledge on how email works, that you have basic knowledge on SMTP error codes, that you have some basic knowledge about SMTP DNS records, that you have some knowledge about email troubleshooting, and you have some knowledge about email attacks. If you do not know this one, then just I'll put the video link on, you can check the video description and see our 2 previous sessions. I'll also put it as a card so you can look at the top of the screen. You should be able to find that. First of all, email security general best practices. First of for general, because remember when we're talking about in this, the purpose of session is to talk about email security for enterprises. We're not talking about individual email security, we're talking about corporate level email security. So any corporation, you should deploy an email gateway, and you should make sure that this is the only egress and ingress point for all corporate email. Egress means outbound, ingress is inbound. So there should not be any other path. For example, you may have a setup where the exchange is sending email directly, and if you put an email gateway and email doesn't go through it, because it's going directly. So you have to make sure that the exchange will use an email gateway as the next hop to deliver emails to internet using the email gateway. Similarly, all the emails from internet should come to your email gateway, and then they should go to your Exchange server or the whatever mail server you're using. Most common these days is Exchange server. So I think it's okay if you say Exchange server. Okay, any email gateway. And actually the term these is used is called security email gateway. It should have these capabilities. Malware scanning, antivirus, spyware, adware protection should be there. It should also be able to check the recipient validation using LDAP. For example, somebody tried to send an email to abc@domain.com and there's no user at abc@domain.com, so it should not accept that email. It's a very basic thing. It's very easily implementable if the email gateway supports integration with Active Directory or LDAP. Then it shall also have Splunk. It should also have not Splunk, spam detection, bulk messages, marketing email detection should be there. It should also have domain or IP reputation based checks at handshake level. And even from the IPs which are bad IPs, it should not even accept the connection, or it should not accept the email from them. Any email gateway should also have spoof detection. In our previous session, we have talked about the spoofing detection. If you look at the top corner, you will see the link of that video. It is in the email security attacks. Okay, then any email gateway should also have content filtering by size, by phrases, by email addresses, by domains, or by headers. By headers mean any specific header. For example, you're looking for some spam mails that have certain headers there, so you can look for those headers also. Or based on some headers, you can do some actions. Then there should also be a feature of suspicious URL detection in the email body. Then there should also be a feature for attachments check for executables and by true file type. Meaning, if somebody rename an exe as a doc and send it to you, or somebody rename an exe as a word and send to you, your system should be smart enough to detect it and stop it. In the earlier days, it was quite possible that you can rename an exe to a doc and send it and nobody will check it. Okay, but you should be very smart and the system should be able to identify the true file type. Then there should be a quarantine option also should be available. So emails could be quarantined and then they could be cleaned away or could be released, or reviewed and approved. Let's talk about some on-premises security email gateways. I will just give some names here. I will not talk because all of these, once you have this presentation copy, you can see, you can click on the links, you can go to their website and take the features. We have semantic messaging gateway. I have a good experience on this one. And we have Cisco Secure Email. Actually, a semantic messaging gateway is used to call Brightmail, and then it was acquired by Semantic. So it should become semantic messaging gateway. And now Semantic is acquired by Broadcom. So maybe the name will change again, or maybe they'll keep the same name. Cisco Secure Email is actually, it was used to be Ironport, then acquired by Cisco. So they branded it as Cisco Secure Email. Then you have Forcepoint Email Security. Forcepoint was earlier WebSense. Then you have Barracuda Email Security Gateway. Then you have Proofpoint Email Security and Protection. Then you have FortiMail, which is from the Fortinet. And then you have 10 Micro, IMSV, Interscan Messaging Security. It's a very good product also. All of them are very good product actually. And there may be a bit more because there are even new companies which are coming in the market, and there are some old companies which they were used to be an Ironmail, which was acquired by McAfee, and then it's gone now. So it depends, but this is a good number of products, which is all very used by different organizations. Then cloud-based. In the cloud-based, we have the similar companies, the same companies also offer cloud-based solutions by Cisco Secure Email, Forcepoint, Semantic also, FortiMail also. Then we have something called Microsoft Exchange Online Protection, which is actually part of Office 365. We'll talk about it more in the next slide. Then we have Proofpoint Email Security, then we have Mimecast, Barracuda again, and so forth again. So this is just names, because if you start going on each features, then it will take like a lot of time, and it will take like, it needs more sessions and more time, But you should be able to Google them with the names, and you should be able to find more details about them. A small slide on Microsoft EOP and Google G Suite. Now, with the adoption of cloud system, Google G Suite and Microsoft Office 365, they are dominating the market because most companies are using the cloud-based Office. So, and when we talk about Office, then also email is part of it because Outlook is part of the Office suite. So now what is happening is, now all of this information is taken from Gartner guide, Gartner email security guide. We'll refer to it. The link is given at the bottom. And actually, if you just Google for it, Gartner email security guide, and you should be able to find this. It's available for public use. So you can see Office 365 is used by many big organizations, whereas G Suite is used by small and medium enterprises. Now Office 365, it includes Exchange Online Protection, EOP, with all the plans. Now what is EOP? EOP is an anti-spam, anti-phishing, anti-malware service. Microsoft also offers, then they have the different categories. For the E5 category, they offer something called Advanced Threat Protection to add more anti-phishing capabilities, advanced attachment and URL-based threat defense also. So if you just Google for this E3 and E5 offering, you should be able to find that. Then Office 365 ATP is including some pricing plans and available for others as extra cost option. We'll talk about, I have a picture for you to show this one, but we'll just go through this one. Some of the highest model also includes data loss protection also and digital right management also. On the other hand, Google G Suite is natively provides anti-spam, anti-phishing, signature-based anti-malware, and only for the enterprise and education plans also provide DLP capabilities for inbound and outbound, and also SMIME for outbound encryption. Okay, with the difference between Microsoft Office 365 and Google G Suite is, with Google G Suite, you have to have a Google mailbox, whereas you cannot have on-premises mailbox. But in case of Office 365, you can have on-premises mailboxes as well. So this is a key difference between them. That's why enterprises are preferring to use Office 365, because they can still use the local Outlook and the protection is online. The plans you can see here, Office 365 and the Microsoft 365, you can see the business plan E3 and E5. And if you look at the E5, it has a couple of things, like it has cloud app security is there, then it has advanced data protection is there. So this is also easily available. You can check it easily on the internet and you can find it. So if you look at the threat protection, you see advanced threat protection P1 is available only in the E5. Threat intelligence is also available. Windows Defender Advanced is also available in the E5. In most companies, if the company is big, with the very big Microsoft customer, then sometimes they upgrade you to E5 without any much charges. So some companies, they may have E5 license without actually paying for the E5 service. So in that case, you can use all these features. However, in Saudi Arabia, there's not much culture about going for a full cloud solution. So here companies still use the cloud to a limited level, most companies. Yes, small companies, they are using cloud to the maximum limit. Let's talk about Gartner email market guide for email security. This guide came in September 2020. Okay, and here are some key findings. As I mentioned, because of the adoption of cloud office system by Microsoft and Google, they have, by the different companies, Microsoft, Google, they become the top leaders in the and give to provide the solutions. Then it's also mentioned that impersonation and account takeover attacks, like impersonation, spoofing, and account takeover also sort of spoofing. They're increasing and causing direct financial loss as users place too much trust in the identities associated with incoming email and inherently vulnerable to deception and social engineering. This is again, as if you go to my old session for the email attacks, you will find what is spoofing, what is business email compromise. And the whole idea is somebody will impersonate your CEO or some executive and send an email, or maybe hack his account and send emails from his account. But in that case, you have to identify that pattern based on the other style, the email parameters, like the email, the wording he used, the way he said greeting, the way he closes the email. Is it the same as before, or there's some difference? Because mostly spammers and hackers, they make mistakes in these places where they do not know the culture, and so they use different words, which is the thought is more generic. So this also says there is no single technology solution for the business email compromise attacks. So the solution should be a combination of technology and user education. Then again, compliance and regulation requirements. They also, because of the compliance and regulations, there's a big emphasis on email security, email data security these days. Also, vendors are evolving and they are supporting new detect and response capabilities by integrating with the email system with different APIs for sandboxing, for other stuff. So this is good also, it's a good thing. This is our source recommendations. All the security and risk management leaders responsible for email security should do what? They should invest in identifying technologies that can accurately detect BEC and account takeover attacks. BEC stands for business email compromise. With Google about it. Seek solutions for BEC protection, so that use AI, artificial intelligence, to create a baseline for and detect communication patterns and conversation style anomalies. As I mentioned, the conversation style is very important. So, for example, you get an email from CEO and notice this is not the way he speaks to us. This is not his, looks like his old emails. So even if the system is deceived, the end user, if he is aware, he should be able to identify the pattern, and he can make a call to the CEO directly and check to him, ask him, because it might be an email asking for a big money transfer. So as per recommendation for account takeover attacks, seek solutions that use computer vision when reviewing suspect URLs. Then use multi-factor authentication for the executives, so the account takeover attacks can be avoided. This is very good idea also. Then whenever you have an email security product, just before investing it, just check, verify the configuration with the vendor and see what features they have, what features work, and what features are most commonly used. So you have an idea of what you're looking for and what the solution is offering you. Then, if you feel that the email gateway which you have, it has some gaps in the advanced threat protection, advanced threat defense capabilities, because most secure email gateways said they do not offer sandboxing solutions, for example. So they do not go and check all the URLs and do not check all the attachments. Okay. So in that case, you can integrate them with any sandboxing solution as using an API or using them as a next hop. Depends again how you are doing it. Also, companies should invest in user education and implement standard operating procedures for handling of financial and sensitive data transactions, because these are the ones which are most commonly targeted by the impersonation attacks. And they should remove as many as ad hoc processes from the email also. Actually, this is just some general words, but definitely this is not enough. So I will suggest the link is available. I'll put it in the video description also. I will suggest you to go and read the whole article. It's not much, just 39 pages, but it will be a good knowledge. Also, they recommend to integrate email events with the broader XDR or SIM solution. This is a good idea. This is the Forrester way of enterprise email security. I took it from the Broadcom website. Why? Because Symantec is in the leaders here. If you look at this one, this is Q2 2019. And as per this, Trend Micro and Symantec, they are both in the leader section, and followed by Barracuda, Cisco, Microsoft, Forcepoint, Proofpoint, Mimecast, so forth. We talk about all of them except the Taras and Zix. I'm not aware of these two. You can check it out and see what are they. So, and this also document is available. I will suggest also download and read it. It will give you a good idea. Okay, what are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? Personally, I know Symantec Messaging Gateway is a very good product. It's a very nice product, and it's like not that expensive, but it does the job effectively. What should be the advanced best practices for email security? For incoming emails, you should use sandboxing solutions like FireEye EX, Trend Micro DDEI, Palo Alto Wildfire, whatever is available for you. You should also use TLS enforcement for incoming emails. Also perform SPF, DKIM, and DMARC checks. If you have no idea about what is SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, go and check our previous videos. Also, it should also give you some protection from ransomware, by having some looking for some different having some artificial intelligence embedded in the email gateway to look for any patterns. It should also check the incoming attachments for executables, JavaScripts, macros. For example, Symantec Messaging Gateway, they give you an option which is called disarm. If you use the disarm function, it will disarm the macros, it will disarm the JavaScripts, and so your attachment becomes harmless. I did a test actually. I took a clock code, I put it in the PDF and sent to myself, and the disarm feature removed that code. So the clock stopped working. But otherwise, it was proper, it was working before. So this is just an example. Also, click protection against malicious URLs. This should be a feature also where if there's a URL, it should be either be replaced or it should be made unclickable. So even if the user click by mistake, it will not make any harm. This is a good feature available in Semantic and Print Macro and might be available in others. I haven't checked all of them. Then there should be something for business email compromise. As I mentioned, some AI should be there which can monitor the emails going in and out for the executive users, and based on that, it can make a pattern. And if something is violates, it should be able to identify this one. Outgoing, you should have a TLS certificate and use it for sending emails by TLS. You should have a SPF record and publish it. You should sign your emails via your domain key and publish your domain key also, which is called DKIM. You should have a DMARC policy to let other companies know that what to do if they receive an email which is not sent by you. If, like, for example, whatever happens is, a DMARC policy is a combination of two. So if a company gets an email from you where the SPF is failing and DKIM is failing, they will know that this is like a fake email. In such case, they'll check your DMARC policy. If your DMARC policy says do nothing, they will accept the email. But if your DMARC policy says quarantine or reject, they will reject it accordingly. Integrate with TLP solutions for outgoing especially, or use the content filtering policies to look for confidential data. Always attach a legal disclaimer for your outgoing emails. Use email encryption wherever required. Okay, here are some resources. Next toolbox, you can go and check it out and see what Guinness records of different domains. We talk about a lot in the first session about this one. DMARC is also a link to create DMARC policy. SPF, to know more about SPF and to get help in generating SPF record. Okay, it's also from DMARC Analyzer. TLS, to check if your domain can receive emails by TLS or not. There are short videos available by DMARC 360 on DMARC, DKIM and SPF. I'll show the channel. Then the Gartner email security guide link is here. And there's a good article by one of our members, Sajid Kyani, about the suspicious email identification article. So if you look at this article, it will give you a good idea about to identify suspicious email. Okay. Also, before completing the session, I also want to thank my colleague, my friend Suhaib Rashid, we had a good discussion with him about the email security gateway, and he helped me understand some of the points of the email security gateways. Thank you, Suhaib. I forgot to mention you at the specific slide, but so I mentioned at the end.